Good evening, I'm Josiah Burke and I'm here with my mother Martina. We're here tonight in Sandy Row in South Belfast, and as you can see we're standing outside the office of Edwin Poots. Edwin Poots is an MLA and he is also the Speaker of the Northern Ireland Assembly. Now on Sunday evening past we visited Hillsborough Free Presbyterian Church. And we did so because we wished to speak to a man by the name of Jonathan Craig. Now you will be aware, I'm sure, from videos in the past and from the news over the past few weeks about the scandal with regard to the Education Authority and its promotion of transgender LGBTQ+ ideology in every single school across this country. And of course, the shock across this country at the revelation that the chair of the Education Authority was none other than Mervyn Storey, who is an elder in Ballymoney Free Presbyterian Church, stands on the pulpit on a Sunday, holds up the Bible, and in his 3-day working week for £50,000 a year promotes LGBTQ+ transgender ideology to every school child in this country. Now, we wanted to speak to Jonathan Craig. Very interestingly now tonight, another board member of the Education Authority involved in the promotion of transgender ideology is Jonathan Craig, who happens to be an attendee of none other than Hillsborough Free Presbyterian Church. And just the fact that I can say that sentence is a scandal.
Yeah.
It is a scandal. It doesn't need to be explained. It is a scandal. And, we went to Hillsborough Free Presbyterian Church to speak to Jonathan Craig. He's a board member for over a decade. And we didn't get to speak to him. We asked to speak to Mr. Craig. We were told that he wasn't there. And then we asked to speak with Mr. Poots. And we were told that he had left the meeting. This is very strange.
We knew Mr. Poots was there.
We knew he was there. We knew he was in fact leading the meeting to some extent, leading the congregational singing. And we were told that he had left. I believe he had fled. He didn't want to speak with us. He must have been one of the first out the door.
If he did go, we don't know.
If he did
we were told he was gone.
And we wanted
afterwards.
to. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And we wanted to speak to Mr. Poots to ask him, how can you walk into the Free Presbyterian Church with this man? How can you back up these men who hold up the Bible and say they're Christians and who say they believe in the teachings of the Bible and who every other day of the week promote LGBTQ+ ideology? Edwin, how can you back up these men? And of course we didn't get a chance to speak to Edwin, but there was a video released by Mr. Poots then just a few days ago on Monday. Monday, I believe. And Edwin said that we wanted to discuss politics, and that if we wanted to discuss politics, we should come to his office here in South Belfast. And this is a real twisting of the truth. It's a real blackening, because we have no interest, Edwin, in speaking to you about politics.
And he knows that.
And
you know that,
you
Edwin.
know that, Edwin.
Yes.
We have no interest in the world. We have never had an interest. We've never expressed any interest in speaking politics, Edwin. You are standing over the promotion of LGBTQ+ ideology. And what's worse, you're holding up the Bible as you do it, Edwin. And you think that God can be mocked. And that's why we wanted to speak to you. We're not here to speak politics. We're not here to speak politics. And we didn't come to Hillsborough Free Presbyterian Church to protest. We came to speak to you. We came to challenge you on why you're standing behind full square these people who are promoting this ideology, which I say represents the demolition of Christian belief. If a child absorbs this ideology, if they let it seep into their being, if they begin to believe it, Christianity is over. It's finished. And the very people who are promoting this ideology know that full well. And Edwin, you are facilitating it, and you're standing behind people who do it.
Now, a couple of years ago, as far as we know, there was some gentleman in the on the board actually who did raise serious objections in the light of those who have faith. Yeah. He knew what was coming down the line. He knew this 60-page document
promoting
LGBTQ+, transgender, any form of sexual behaviour was going to be pushed upon every single school in the north of Ireland. He did object to it, very meekly I would say, and he was opposed vehemently by Daniel McCrossan, SDLP, who told him that this was extreme views he had simply because they were Christian. He said it was dangerous. He asked for him to be investigated. Also, a man by the name of Conor Houston, director of Shout Out LGBT, they called for his resignation. This man who had meekly objected. And yes, he did go, as far as I know, in 2021. And then we have Mervyn Storey from the Free Presbyterian Church in Ballymoney, supported by his minister, David Park, taking the place of the chair on that board. Now, we know that it's one of the biggest organisations in Northern Ireland, the Education Board. It deals with over 40,000, the Education Authority, deals with over 40,000 employees.
Teachers, staff.
So this document, to cut it short, was sent out to every single school in Northern Ireland. And one thing we know clearly now about the Education Authority, it is vehemently opposed to Christian belief. No tolerance whatsoever for Christian belief. You cannot oppose this ideology. It must be affirmed. And I think we've explained that clearly to all those parents out there who would be very concerned about their children. This must be affirmed. If a young child, young boy, young girl feels they're born in the wrong body, teachers must affirm, support, encourage him to go on, to get treatment, to get the hormone blockers, testosterone blockers if you're a boy, estrogen blockers if you're a girl. Block the way that God made you. Block those hormones. And this is a defiance of God. It's a defiance of the living God. And it's an absolute disgrace that instead of talking to us, shaking our hands and saying, well done, Edwin Poots runs away.
And blackens
Storey, Mervyn Storey runs away, and his minister comes out and seeks to blacken us. Shame upon you, I would say. And also I would say this evening, shame, shame, shame upon all those ministers who've come out in support of those who attempt to blacken us. Ron Johnson, former moderator, minister of the Free Presbyterian Church for years, liking posts against us. You are a disgrace, I would say, Ron Johnson. And then you have David McElveen, former minister, Free Presbyterian minister, a write-up on the newsletter today saying that he sympathises, he feels sorry for us. He feels great pity for us. So am I reading right that you, David McElveen, feel great pity for Christians who expose what's going on in the Education Authority organisation, what's been hidden from the public, what every single parent with children in Northern Ireland need to know? I would say that's disgraceful.
It is disgraceful.
I can't believe it that you would say you pity us, when you should be doing that. You should be calling out the Education Authority Board. But not a word out of you. Hiding behind your pulpits, behind your garb, lifting up the Bible, telling me that sola scriptura. Is Genesis 19 in the Bible, Ron? Is Genesis 19 still relevant today, David? Edwin Poots, what about you? Is it still sola scriptura? Or is it only words? And you know, this is the day to stand. I would say, parents, stop being deceived. Johnny Buckley, let children be children, but Johnny loves comments against us. That's very serious. He supports those who speak against us.
Very strange.
I would say now to everybody, stop talking about us. Talk about the Education Authority. If you're a Christian, and if you're an authority, if you're a public representative, you should be talking about the Education Authority and those on the board. And you should be encouraging parents to protect their children. The scripture says, suffer the little children. allow them to come unto me, and forbid them not, ministers. Forbid them not, for of such is the kingdom of God. And it's better that a millstone be hung round his neck than he'd cause one of these little ones to stumble. And it's the end of any church, Free Presbyterian Church, that's hiding its head in the sand while the church is being destroyed and every single child being indoctrinated, not educated, indoctrinated with satanic ideology. Shame, shame, shame upon you. And parents, hold these people to account. Get in contact with them. Ask them what they're doing about the document that's gone out to every school. Hold them to account. They want your votes at the next election. They'll be knocking on your doors. They'll be giving you cheesy smiles. Hold them to account. Do not be deceived.
And hold your ministers to account. Hold them to account.
Yes, indeed.
As they stand on their pulpits week after week, holding up the Bible, making professions, and silent them. Silent when their elders are promoting LGBTQ plus ideology. Challenge your ministers. It's a dereliction. It's a disgrace in the sight of God.
They're speaking and they're talking about things that happened 500 years ago and 50 years ago and 60, but they can't speak about the Education Authority, about the document that's gone out now to every school in Northern Ireland, in a sense, denouncing Christian belief. Shame upon you all. Hold them to account. They're deceivers and they're deceiving you, and you need to protect your children. Your responsibility, parents, is your children. And I couldn't shake hands to any minister, any politician that will not stand up for families and children, and most of all, stand up for Christian belief if he is professing to be a Christian, like this man here, Edwin Poots.
And I would call upon parents to educate yourself. Freely available. Education Authority documents, 60 pages of transgender ideology, promoting it, enforcing it in schools around this country, and led and backed up by Free Presbyterian board members. Get involved, challenge these men, challenge your politicians, and most importantly, challenge your ministers who have taken vows to stand for God's truth and who are in total dereliction of those vows. I would say to parents, stand up for your rights and stand up against these men.
And they're silent when they should be speaking out. It's an absolute disgrace.